Hello and welcome to our new podcast series, Simply Holistic Living, Feeding the Mind, Body, Soul. I'm Julie from County Clare Candles. This podcast series has evolved out of my own passion for holistic living and well-being following my recovery from a serious car accident in 2006. Over this podcast series of 6 episodes, I've had the delight of talking to some really inspiring people from around the county of Galway and the county of Clare. These include a nutritional coach, life coach, business coach, a yoga and Ayurvedic living educators, and our own resident skincare expert. My hope is that you'll pick up some practical tips from listening to our 6 episodes that you can implement today. It all starts with just one step as my motto, and I've certainly learned a lot talking to our guests and definitely will be making 1 or 2 changes to my daily practices. The podcast series is sponsored by County Clare Candles and our sister company, Merview Natural Skincare. It's our aim to give something back to you, our customers, for supporting us over the last 8 years. I hope you enjoy. In this first podcast, I speak with Fiona Brennan. Fiona is a success coach. She believes we all have the power to do and be whatever we choose once we decide, commit, believe, and take action. Through her business, Inspire Action Success, Fiona works with female business owners and individuals to help them transform their lives. She's based in County Clare. For more details on Fiona and what she does, check out her website www.inspireactionsuccess.com. So I'm here today with Fiona Brennan, and Fiona is a personal and business success coach based in Tulla, County Clare. And I've actually worked with Fiona myself, and that's why I'm so excited to have her on here on the podcast today. You're very welcome, Fiona.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Julie, for having me. I'm absolutely honoured and delighted to be one of your first guests. So thank you.
Great. Fiona, maybe you just tell us a little bit about your journey to becoming a coach. What got you here, to do the work that you're doing, and a little bit about the work that you do?
Brilliant. So just to take you back a little bit, I suppose I come from an engineering background. Okay. I have a degree in mechanical engineering from Trinity College, and my engineering work actually took me into the world of project management. So for 16 or so years, I have worked as a project manager, mainly in construction. And project management is actually all about taking an idea, a vision for change, and bringing it through a process. Okay. And taking it to the end and making it a reality. So take from an idea and a vision to becoming a reality. That is the nuts and bolts of project management. And creating plans and scopes of works and all those beautiful things in between to make that happen. I actually finished working with corporate. I had a corporate role, project management corporate role for quite a few years. And I finished that at the end of 2016.
Right.
And some situations came about both personally and in the work side. So things come together, as the universe does throw stuff at you. An opportunity came up and I said, yeah, you know what, the timing is right. I'm going to leave this now. And I always had that desire to set up my own business. Great timing. So January 2017, I set up Project Management Interiors. And that was my first experience of being in the entrepreneurial world. Okay. So I thought, Julie, all I had to do was basically do whatever I used to do for corporate as an employee, and just go out into the world and just say, hey, I'm a project manager, hire me, and just do the job. Which in theory it was, except that there was a whole other side to it that I had not known about and nobody told me about and didn't learn about it in advance. So what happened was, I didn't realize the confidence in me while I was an employee. I had a certain level of confidence, and I will say that I was really good at my job.
Okay.
So I knew I could do the job, but what I didn't expect was my whole personal confidence standing in my own business name just suddenly fell from under me.
So you didn't have the support structures.
I didn't have the support structure, and I realized then I just didn't have the confidence in myself. So the first year I did a lot of work, complimentary, a lot of work at a very, very low price. And I was selling myself all the wrong way. And I was saying yes to things that really I shouldn't have been saying yes to, and no to things that I should have been saying yes to. And it was all down to just a personal impact on myself, which I wasn't expecting. Plus, I suppose the whole idea of managing my time and managing balance, that went out the window. I thought I was going to have all these days and times to do as I please and be with the kids. And I ended up working like so many hours and nearly almost going to burnout. So it was because of that process that I went looking for help. And I literally went into Google, and I cannot remember exactly what I typed into Google, but it could have been something like just, oh, please help me with my business. I don't know. But what came up was, after like searching down the screen, coaching. And I found a coaching course. I was looking actually for a coach. I didn't know that coaching was a thing, to be honest, before this. I didn't know what it was about. I kind of thought, oh, coaching is for a career, what you want to do. But I didn't realize that coaching was actually for personal development. And I hadn't a clue what personal development was. I mean, I was seriously missing the day that this was talked about somewhere in school or wherever. So I found the coaching program, and I didn't do it straight away because I didn't want to invest in myself. It was too big an investment. Not just in money, but in time. I was going to have to go be away at weekends. I was going to have to study. And I sat on that decision for at least 6, if not 8 months. And struggled with my business in the meantime. And I just didn't think it was something that I could spend the money on myself and the time. But, the universe sends us these things, and a point was reached where I was actually just became quite unwell. And the program owner actually reached out to me on a couple of emails. And I just said, you know what? They had one starting in March, and I said, fine, I'm going to do this. But I was very, very reluctant. I must add, I was extremely reluctant to do it. But I dragged myself off on that very first day to class. So
obviously your gut instinct was telling you.
My gut instinct was to tell me, but my mind was otherwise, was just like, what is the point? And, this is going to help. And, all the negativity was coming at me. So, but I managed to drag myself to the class very reluctantly the first day, and sitting in the back with my head down, really like, I don't even know what I'm doing here. Like, this is just it's not for me. Like, and suddenly the teacher said something, and it just got my attention. And she said something about belief and self-belief and how much is underneath the surface that we just don't have any idea of what's holding us back. And I sat up. It just resonated with me straight away. And that was me. I was sold, and the head was up for the rest of the term. And continued. And the thing about it, Julie, is I didn't do that coaching training with the intention of setting up a business. I did it solely for me, to expand myself, to see what I needed. I obviously needed help, and I didn't know what help I needed. But what I discovered was I needed to do the work of me. I needed to actually really look at where my values were, where my beliefs were, what was holding me back. The wonderful thing about it is, as I did the work of me, it started to ripple out into all the areas. So I saw changes happening in my home, with my kids, with my husband, but even more so with my business. I didn't cop it straight away, but I realized after a few months of doing all these small little tweaks and changes that my business was flourishing. There was offers coming in, and I was starting to actually charge properly. And I was starting to turn up differently. I was coming to project meetings a different version. Now, small changes, I must add, because you don't change overnight. It's not overnight. And it's not a flick the switch thing.
It's not magical.
But I had opened the box, and in my words, it's like I opened Pandora's box to the coaching and personal development space. And I still had no intention of creating a business. But what I did do was, when I finished the certification course, I actually signed up into another program that was a deeper dive of the mindset and neuroscience and personal transformation. And another one, because there's just so much to learn. I could not get enough. So 12 months on from all of that, project management business flourishing, things in my life flourishing, my health flourishing, sleeping better, more time with the kids, more time for myself, which I didn't even know was a thing, that I could even give myself permission to be with myself. And I started to realize, wow, there's some magic in this stuff.
Okay.
Was I the only person who didn't know that this is actually a thing?
Yeah.
Does anybody else know?
Yeah.
Do I need to share this? So I just felt this pull to share.
Yeah.
And I felt this pull to teach. So I started to kind of play with the idea if I started a coaching business alongside the project management business.
Okay.
So that's how it started. And it was the tail end of 2019 that I started to play with that. And coming into 2020, I went on this amazing 3-day, it wasn't a retreat, it was a 3-day conference experience over in Miami in Florida. Now, doing that trip was a huge, huge step for me. And I would never have done it had I not done the work. When I came back from that, I said, that's it. I'm actually going to start this coaching business.
Yeah.
I just need the projects now to slow down a little bit. I just need a little gap in time. Okay. Maybe I'll just wait until this particular one wraps up and then I'll get a space. And as I was sharing all this out loud with myself, the universe responded and gave us COVID.
Okay.
Which, had all its negative stuff associated with it. But for me, it was like that gap in time I needed because all the construction sites closed down. Yeah. So I went straight in then to creating the coaching business and again, threw myself into lots of learning programs. So once I had got over the initial self-investment hurdle and realized that it's actually okay to spend money on myself, that it's actually good to spend it, and that when you do that, you get it back in spades in other areas. Once I had got over that hurdle, I was all in. Just keep the thing going.
Keep going.
Learning. And so that was, Inspire Action Success is the business that is now my coaching business that was born and created. And I suppose I called it Inspire Action Success because ultimately I want to inspire people to take the right action to achieve the success that you desire, whatever that success is for you. Yeah. It's different for everybody. Yeah. Absolutely different for everybody. Yeah.
And I know that's how I came to you, because a friend of mine, I noticed how she was having a lot of success in her business, but she was very happy. She'd kind of changed from being stressed out to being very chilled. And I was going for a run with her one day going, so what are you doing? You know, so she was telling me all about Fiona Brennan, Inspire Action Success. And at that stage, I was a bit burnt out. You know, I had come to my business 8 years ago with a whole load of ideas, wanting to create beautiful candles and in that kind of wellness space. But I found I got consumed by business and just ignored my personal self, didn't invest in myself.
Yeah.
So I came to you a couple of months ago in that space and discovered the work that you've done with me on the vision board has been just amazing. So maybe you just talk to us a little bit about some of that kind of work that you do with clients.
So my passion has always been clarity of vision, and then moving into action, and then accountability and support. The project manager is still in me and always will be. So project management is all about taking action, but it's the right action, and it has to be aligned action. So what is it that you're looking to achieve ultimately at the end of the day? When you get clear on where you're going, what it is you want to create, what it is you want to achieve, the life or the business you want to have, then the actions become easy, because you get to know what you can say yes to and what you can say no to. Yeah. And it just starts to eliminate all the confusion, all the overwhelm, all the procrastination. Clarity is key. Clarity brings confidence. Clarity brings motivation. And clarity creates space. It's a decluttering process. It gets rid of all the excess crap that we don't need. And that we sometimes come thinking, I've got to do this. I have to do that. I should be in the other, I should be whatever. It eliminates all of that, and it creates that very clear guide.
Yeah.
It's like a Google map. You put in your destination and you get the nice blue clear line, and you get all these other little grey ones as well as options, but you've got this nice clear blue one, and you know where it is you're going. But that's because you know what your destination is.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I found working with you, is now I know what I'm saying yes to, because I'm clear on what I'm doing. And the whole process of doing the vision board has been very much part of that. So I now know that whether people are listening to this or in business or not in business, it doesn't matter. It's what we're talking about is for your life.
Absolutely.
Clarity.
And it's, so I suppose when I started off, the vision, the clarity of the vision, so important, and I've done it always through words, writing things out, and I still do that. But what I have fallen in love with over the last 2 years is vision boards. Okay. And I was introduced to a vision board, and vision boards have been around for forever.
Yeah.
And people have been doing them for forever. I've never done one. I had never done one, sorry, I should say. And I just kind of like, I discounted them. I was kind of like, yeah, you know what? I've got my own way of doing this. I know what works for me. I don't need the vision board. But this beautiful friend of mine was running a workshop, and she was very passionate about it. And eventually I kind of said, okay, fine, I'll do one with you. Okay. You want me, you beat me down. I'll show up and do it. A little bit like the coaching course. Fine, I'll drag myself to this. It's like something just instantly pulling me to just go along. And I created this board. I kind of put it to one side, and it was 6 months later, I was looking at it one day, and I started to realize, okay, hang on, that just happened. I was kind of like doing this little ticking exercise.
Yeah.
But I hadn't realized. And biggest aha came probably, was it a year later, when one of the photographs that I literally cut from a magazine, flicking through a magazine. It's a process that I take, the process that we go through. It's a 3-week process. But one of the things is you flick.
Okay.
You flick, and you be in a certain way, in a very right brain, not analytical mind, just breezy, allowing your intuition to come up and allow the pictures to speak to you. And, I'd cut one out, and it kind of represented a few little different things to me. And I just put it on there. I really liked it.
Okay.
And put it up there, and it was about a year later, I had taken a picture on my phone, and I realized that the picture on the phone was an almost exact match for the magazine image that I had put on my board.
Okay.
And that was the final clanger that I realized, wow, there's serious magic in this board.
Yeah.
So that was when I started then to bring them into my own business.
Okay.
So now it's part of my offering with my one-to-one clients. The first thing we do as part of creating the vision is actually doing the exercise of the vision board.
Okay.
So it's not just a written exercise, a written clarity. It's actually a board. We have the words and the pictures, because some people are very visual, and it actually helps them more with the visions. And some people are, prefer to write. But when you do both, you've got double whammy, like.
Yeah.
You've got both things working. Plus, you've given clear instructions to your subconscious mind.
Yeah.
All the power is in your subconscious. Your subconscious is connected to your gut instinct, which is connected to your higher self. If you I suppose believe in that, we are all connected to our higher selves. So there is that intuition in there, and it comes out when we take the space. And I suppose this is one of the foundational pieces, allowing yourself the gift of time to do this.
Yeah.
To do coaching in general, but also the time to just get clear.
Yeah.
To stand back from the busyness of your business, the busyness of your day-to-day life. People can feel like, you know what, that's lovely, Fiona, but I don't have time for that. I've got like all these kids, and I've got all these clients, and I've got so much going on. I get all that. I have all that too. And it's just a matter of gifting yourself the space of time.
Yeah.
People might say no to investing, but usually, sometimes, more often than not, it actually comes down to they're afraid of taking the time out.
Taking the time.
You can pay for stuff. here, just take the money and just do the thing.
Yeah.
But this is, you've got to do it. And it's probably more of a challenge for people to take on, that like, you've got to take the time out to do. It's not loads of time, but it is some time. But it's time that you reap back. Oh my God, so much more
the rewards. I know I'm discovering that. And maybe just bring us through the process of creating, if you can. So I want to create a vision board. So, what do I do? Yeah.
So you'll sign up, you'll contact me first and sign up to my next group program. Or we can do one-on-one. But basically, so the process that I suppose, I have a 3-week program that I've basically been, I'm a facilitator. It's originally from a lady called Debbie Sluice, who's based in Canada, and she created a program called Dare to Declare. Okay. And so I've done her program. So, and I'm a certified facilitator of her specific one, but I've also then taken hers and recreated it into my version using, I suppose, a lot of the things that I'm passionate about. And it's still a 3-week process. So what we do is, the basic tools are a canvas board, and you can get a cheap one in or a foam board or canvas board, which you can pick up in Eurogiant or any of those art shops. Magazines and scissors, and your Pritt stick, and or glue. And the first stage is taking you through a meditation. So we go through a meditation of envisioning what it is that you would like in your life. Yeah. There's then lots of little other questioning processes that I take you through, but it's all to bring the intuitive mind up.
I love that, the meditation. That's,
because it's to get you out of your analytical, because a lot of people will come into my programs and they've got like, I know what I want. Like it's all very up in your analytical mind. This is it. Yeah, I know what I want. But when I take them through the process and we move out of the analytical mind and into just listening to your intuition, which requires some space and quiet to do so, you start to realize that what you thought you wanted is not what you wanted at all. Or maybe pieces of it are, but there's so much more. And I call the vision board a holistic dreaming vision board. Okay. Because it incorporates all areas of your life. So there's 7 areas, from work to fun to health to spirit. So we look at all of the areas. Okay. And it's because, whether you're a business owner or whether you're an employee or whatever it is you do, your life is everything. So what brings you joy? What makes you feel good? What is it that you want to get up in the morning? What does your day and your week look like? What do you want it to look like instead? What is it that you want to be kind of doing or spending the hours of your day that you're not spending the hours of your day doing? What are the things that you love that you're going to like say, oh, well, I wish I could have? What are those, resolutions that you start off at January saying, this year I'm definitely going to learn that instrument or that language, or I'm definitely going to spend more time hiking because I love it, or I'm definitely going to do this, friends, all those things that you say at the dinner table, so casually, and then nothing happens. So this process helps you to consider all of these things and say, look, what do you really, really, really want to do? And beyond. So dream big, dream bigger. How good can you create it? And then using then the magazines in a very intuitive process where we take you through, where you're flicking through, one of the instructions is to just go reach out and find magazines, not to buy them, ask neighbours and friends to drop them in, or go to your hairdresser, whatever, now that, we're back with magazines and hairdressers and beauticians, and just get a bunch of them. And not really judging whether it looks like it's a good magazine or a bad magazine. And you set up a certain sort of process, again, more breathing, meditation and music. And just in a very relaxed form, you breathe through it. Okay. And you wait for a picture to speak to you.
So you're really
because it will.
You're working on your intuition.
You're working on your intuition. Now, you will have probably 2 or 3 things that, look, you know I definitely want to do this and maybe I definitely want to do that, that's fine, or have this or have that. And you can keep an eye out for pictures that represent that. And you know, if you're very specific and they can't be found in a magazine, you can go on and Google them. But it's still very much a very intuitive process, because we don't know what we don't know. Sometimes stuff doesn't come up. Your subconscious is working all the time. And I have cut out, myself personally, I've cut out pictures, and clients have cut out pictures that they have no idea what that's about. It's gone on the board, and it's only months later they realize, oh my goodness, that was connected to such and such.
And you kind of have to trust that, because I know on my vision board I have a couple of things I'm like, okay, I don't know what it's about. One or two of them now are beginning to emerge, which is totally beautifully surprised me. But if I had thought about it, my analytical mind, I wouldn't have cut them out.
Yes, you would have been like, I don't know what this is, so I'm going to keep it off.
Yeah.
But absolutely, it's very, very intuitive. It's very, very allowing your inner guidance self, and trusting your inner guidance self, and creating a board in a very specific ways. There's rules around how to create the board. It is definitely not one of those that you might, if you were to Google what does a vision board look like, you'd probably see like a massive mirage of just pictures just all over the collage of just untidy pictures. There are very clear rules that I go through with you to actually how you create the board.
Sure you get that.
So that it speaks to you then afterwards. You fall in love with your board. So by the time you're finished, you absolutely love your board so much. All the magic is done at that stage, when you've got your board done. And then I take you through a declaration, which is very, very powerful. And yes, you can pay homage to your board every day, morning and night. You can take note of it. You can do little meditations around it. That's absolutely encouraged. But the magic, in my opinion, is done at the creation stage.
Okay.
You have given your subconscious all these images. You've allowed your intuition to come to the fore. And what happens next is you let go. Yeah. You release and you let go.
Yeah. Okay. And that's probably very important.
It's very important.
Letting go. Because I know I'm somebody who would find that hard to let go. Would be like, no, I'll make this happen. But learning to let go.
Learning to let go and release it. In saying that, you're also responsible to co-create with the board. Yes. So you create it. So the vision, in the process of creating the board and writing your vision, you automatically become clear. So you declutter all the stuff that you don't want, that you thought you wanted, and then it becomes very clear. So there's a whole decluttering. So that's your clarity piece. The next piece then is your action. Okay. Mm. And what do I mean by that? It's not like just, okay, what have I got to do? What have I got to do? Like, tell me what to do. It's like, we let go of the board, but you are responsible for turning up every day in the best version of you that you can be. So my coaching takes you through, little morning techniques and evening techniques that allow you to, the pieces in between, you're the best version. But now that you've got the clarity, subconscious, all set in place, you will know how to turn up every day. You will know what you can say yes and no to. You will know what actions to take. Your responsibility is to take the actions as they come to you. Yes. Okay. So, for example, if it's okay for me to share maybe a little piece on your, as an example, absolutely. Julie, one of the things that we worked on together a few months ago was your desire to create a podcast. Yes. And one of the things that you were confused about was that was maybe just a side on and you couldn't see the connection with your business. Yeah. But we discovered there was a very clear connection with your business. But putting an image representing a podcast on your board was one thing. But now you have to do something to start to bring it to life. Yes. So while we let go, we still have to do. There's still action. Okay. So you have to co-create with it. But what happens is the universe works now. The board works with you. Yeah. So it was so how easy was it for you to actually start this whole podcast? Absolutely. Yeah. So simple. So easy. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So prior to that, you'd have been like, I don't even know. Where to start. It's like, oh my God. Yeah. All of a sudden it actually happened so easy, so quick. Here you are recording and you're loving it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And as I'd say 2 months ago, max, that you actually had it on the board.
So there you go. That's a perfect example.
That's the magic.
Yeah.
So there's action, there's doing, easy, and it's effortless.
Yeah.
And it's just all the steps come into play.
Yeah, and that comes back to the 3 things in your business: inspire, action, and success.
Yes.
So this is what we're really talking about.
So the clarity is the inspiration. It comes from the clarity of the vision.
Yeah.
And the action is all of this, but it becomes easy action. It becomes aligned action with your vision.
Yeah.
So you're not spending time in the wrong space.
Yeah.
You're in the right. Then the success is basically you living the life that you want to live, doing the stuff that you want to do every day.
Yeah.
So every day becomes a fun day. It doesn't have to be hard. Yeah. Success doesn't have to be the grind.
Yeah, that's kind of, I think we've all feed into that thing that society creates, that we must, feel that we're really burnt out, working hard, that then we get the results. So it's a very different thing that we're talking about here.
Masculine energy is all doing energy. And women in particular have actually, this is something I've learned, have a lot of masculine energy. Being a mum actually is masculine role because it's all about the doing. But we need to, especially women who are very high achieving and who love to just, get things done and, want to create and be successful, use a lot of masculine energy. We feel that we've got to be like, push and really just do an action. And that's when we get burnt out. And also we feel like we've got to do all the things. We've got to juggle all the balls. Really working, and very small steps, one at a time. Doesn't change overnight, but working eventually to let go of a lot of that and to start bringing back in your feminine energy and to use a lot of feminine energy in your work. You need a mix of both.
Yes, certainly kind of from the work I've done with you, I'm beginning to see the changes and, using more of that feminine energy and the mix and the balance and all of that. Balance. And, it's great. Fiona, it's been great to have you on the podcast. Is there anything you'd want to add for our listeners? So the name of the podcast is simply Holistic Living, Feeding the Mind, Body and Soul. And I think that's a lot of what we've talked about.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's very apt because it really resonates for me because it's very much even similar. That the mind, body and soul is actually the centerpiece of my my logo where, it's empowerment of self. So I'm very passionate about you empower the person. Yeah. And the whole thing of identifying, getting clear, taking the action, being accountable, all comes from self. So everything becomes easier when you start to work on yourself. And that's from personal experience. I was trying to do it all the hard way with my business until I discovered that actually once I empower myself from the inside out, everything for me is from the inside out, then the rest becomes easier. So you still have to do all this, it becomes so much easier. So it doesn't have to be so hard. So if you're out there and you're listening to this and you feel like I've got a business but it's just so hard and there's so many things to juggle, it doesn't have to be that way. It can be nicer, it can be fun, it can be easy. It gets to be easy. Yeah. So whether you're listening, whether you have a business or you don't have a business or an employee or you're a busy mom or whatever it is. Yes, absolutely. It doesn't have to be that hard ground. Start with vision, get clear, and then start to work on personal development stuff as well. So the 3-week program isn't just literally like 3 weeks of creating a board. There's lots of mindset and personal development pieces weaved into it as well. So it's not like, oh God, why does it take 3 weeks to create a vision board? It's just like sit down, just do it. Like there's lots of ones out there you can do in an hour and a half. But no, this is not that process. You do a lot more. And to contact you, Fiona, if there's anybody listening that was interested in the 3-week program. Yeah, so just reach out to me. Fiona at inspireactionsuccess.com is my email, or look up Inspire Action website and you'll have a little inquiry button there. You can just send me a quick note there on LinkedIn, Facebook and Instagram. That's great. Fiona Brennan from Inspire Action Success. Yay. Thank you so much. Thank you, Julie. It's so much fun. I really enjoyed chatting to Fiona Brennan, especially chatting about creating a vision for your life. It's something that I've worked with Fiona on and now have my own vision board. And I find it's such a powerful thing to do. The process of creating the vision board for me was so powerful.
I'm now beginning to see little things coming to life from that vision board. So I'd really encourage you to try out some of the things Fiona talked about around the vision board. And if you want to chat with Fiona further, her website is www.inspireactionsuccess.com. Wishing you all the best. I'm really excited for anybody that's going to start that process of creating the vision board. Thank you for listening to this podcast. This is sponsored by Julie Clark Candles and Merview Natural Skincare.